which I've known. Yay, Lisa. Okay, now Lisa she is really steady. I mean, when she joins a place and puts her heart into something, she is there. I mean, how many years would you say, Lisa, that you've been at each job? At least
10.
Yeah.
8 or 10.
Yes. So when you get her, you get all of her whole heart, her mind, and her hands. So right now, Lisa is the president of the Professional Network on Aging. How many members do they have?
Over 452.
Over 452 members.
Wow.
And they meet once a month, and Lisa's in charge. So today, she's going to share with us what are the attributes, I believe the 8 attributes of a board member. So your business, what better way to have people see you as a leader, but then to get on a board, right? And have them be able to put that behind your name. And Lisa's going to talk about what attributes they look for when they're looking for board members. Hey, Lisa.
Thank you. Mary Lou, that was a very nice introduction. Thank you so much for believing in me like you do and being a friend also. So thank you, Talk Shoppe, for having me here today. Thank you on Zoom. I hope you can see me. Okay, good. I'm not used to a camera being right in my
Just
face.
make sure you talk into the camera as much as you talk to us.
Okay, absolutely.
We hear you perfectly.
First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I want you to learn a little bit about me. I know most of y'all, but you probably don't know a lot about my background. I was born and raised in Mississippi. I have lived in Texas. I've lived in the Galveston, Texas area. I've lived on Maui, Hawaii, and I've lived in Memphis, Tennessee for 35 years. So I'm truly a Memphian now, and I love it here. I love to purchase oil paintings. My favorite thing to do is to find original pieces of art that really pull my heart into it. I love to swim. I love boating. I love the beach, the mountains, and I have 2 children. They're cats. Their names are Macy and Snowball. Macy is 19 years old and elder, and she's doing pretty well for her age. And Snowball's about 4 years old, and he is very active and much bigger than Macy, so they're at each other a lot. But overall, they do pretty well. So I'm a very big animal advocate, animal lover. I really have a heart for service. And I wonder, I've asked my question, why have I served on boards? Why am I president of this organization? Why am I really here? And I want to share something that's kind of really heartfelt that my mother wrote to me many years ago. She's in heaven, but she wrote this to me. And when I read it, I realize this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it says, Lisa, my 8th child, I'm the youngest of 8, the end of the line. I admire you most for your compassion, your concern for others, and your warm personality that makes others feel at ease. So really that sums it up as to why I'm who I am. You know, she couldn't have said it any better, and I really appreciate those words. So I just want to share that with you today. Like Mary Lou said, I'm president of P&A. I started out about 8 years ago serving in a class on the board. Then I moved into senior safari chair, of which Mary Lou helped me with that. And the next year she was chair of the senior safari, which is Memphis Day at the Zoo. It's a free day at the Memphis Zoo for all seniors. We have about 2,500 to 3,000 attended. Yeah. So we host that, put all that together with committees, etc. So I chaired that. Then I moved into vice president of marketing for 2 years, and then vice president of programs for 2 years, which was setting up the speakers each month for the monthly meetings, and then president. So I'm president this year and next. So I'm very proud to have made it this far. What I would like to do is just, first of all, I want to tell you what a board member is, give you a definition. Then Mary Lou, if you'll come around and hand the 2 sheets out to each person and a pen if they need it, I'm going to have a little interaction with y'all, and those on Zoom, if you'll do the same. Do you have the 2 pieces of paper you can show them? Okay, well, we can talk through it. What is a board member? Board members are the fiduciaries who steer the organization towards a sustainable future by adopting sound, ethical, and legal governance and financial management policies, as well as by making sure the nonprofit or for-profit has adequate resources to advance its mission. So you have that definition at the top of one of your pages. And before you start writing something down, let me go over a board member job description. So when you're thinking of board members, think about these types of job duties, even if it's volunteer, which most boards are volunteer. They regularly attend board meetings and important related meetings. They make serious commitment to participate actively in committee work. They volunteer for and willingly accept assignments and completes them thoroughly and on time. They stay informed about committee matters, prepares themselves well for meetings, and reviews and comments on minutes and reports. They get to know other committee members and build a collegial working relationship that contributes to consensus. And an active participant in the committee's they are active participants in the committee's annual evaluation and planning efforts. And last but not least, they participate in fundraising for the organization, especially if it's a nonprofit. So there's a lot to do as a board member. If you volunteer, you've got to really be dedicated and want to do it. So I want you to just take a few minutes before we dig in and write down 8 attributes, characteristics, traits of what you think a board member should look like. Take your time. Out there in Zoom land, if you'll take a pen and write down 8 attributes, we will, oh good, you can see the paper, great, of what you think a board member should look like. Let's take a few minutes to do that. Are we getting close? I don't want to take too much time. Okay. If you'll raise your hand, I'd love you to share one of the attributes with me. Tom, do you mind sharing one of the attributes you think that a board member should look like?
Depending upon the organization, a shared vision of what that organization is all about.
Very good. What about you, Delisha? Delisha? Ethical, absolutely, huge one. Lynn?
Mine's an action one, always looking for opportunities to spread the word about the organization.
Yes. Troy?
Yeah.
Troy?
I got accepting criticism with a positive attitude.
Oh, that's very good, because you know we can agree to disagree, right? So we're going to have lots of different opinions. You're right, so that no one gets upset. We do come to a consensus, but we've got to respect each person's opinion. Thank you, Kristen.
They're committed to the cause. They have a vested interest in it. They're not just there to be, something on the resume.
Excellent, excellent. Oh, Mary Lou?
I think having an inclusive attitude, where instead of, prove to me you need to be part of this, they're inclusive and welcome.
Absolutely. Don, do you have anything to add?
Oh, empathetic and a good listener.
Very good. Yeah. Taylor, do you happen to think of anything off the top of your head?
All of mine fall under.
They'll fall under this. Okay.
So trustworthy and
Trustworthy. Okay. Well, let me go forward with good governance for a board of directors. These are the 8 important attributes that I came up with. However, there's many more, so I'm going to share a lot more, but here are 8 good ones. Accountable. required or expected to justify actions or decisions, being responsible. So you've got to hold yourself accountable to get those things done, or to do that task or that time deadline, whatever it is, you've got to hold yourself accountable. Number 2, transparent.
That's a good one.
Having thoughts, feelings, or motives that are easily perceived, clear and translucent. So you have to be very clear and translucent with your thoughts, your feelings, how you think something should go, so you can really collaborate and work together on that to meet at a happy medium. Responsive. Responding readily and with interest and enthusiasm, Lynn. Responding readily and with interest and enthusiasm.
Sure makes a difference, doesn't it, Lisa, when you get,
It does.
have that enthusiasm behind the organization there, people, you kind of bring the group along with you.
Yes.
I like that an awful lot.
You have to, as a leader, and I'll get a little bit later into leadership, but you have to be a positive. You have to have a positive attitude. You have to pull things out of people to get them to really respond. One thing that I do when I'm in board meetings, I like to ask each person's opinion, because some will just sit back and be quiet. And I want them to tell me, how do you feel about this? Do you really agree, or is there something you want to add? So I try to pull that out of each board member as we're meeting. So thank you, Troy. That is so true. Consensus oriented. What would we do in the United States or anywhere else if we didn't come to a consensus? Try to find decisions, come to a main decision for that particular event or whatever you're working on. A general agreement, a unanimous, the consensus of their opinion. So like you said, Troy, we can have difference of opinions, but if the majority have the opinion, but yours is different, we still will probably go with the consensus of what everybody overall would think. But we welcome diversity. We welcome the difference of opinion. Participatory. If you don't participate, participatory. I can't say the word.
Yeah, you had a margarita over there at my favorite place. You'd be able to pronounce that word quite easily.
I'm trying to say participatory, characterized by or involving participation. Okay, I can say that word. But you have to participate. You have to be part and participate. Inclusive. Someone said inclusive. I think that was Mary Lou. Not excluding any of the parties or groups involved in something. So every person needs to have their voice. So inclusive, we just hit inclusive, Mary Lou, and you had mentioned that.
Lisa, on that, along that line, it is that once you get that attitude that you will accept, I say, the inclusive part of it, the criticism part with a positive attitude, it encouraged, I think, other people to speak up rather than shy away from it, because you've got an inclusiveness about your organization.
I think the positivity feeds off of each other as well in the room. Following the rule of law. We all have bylaws, don't we? So we have to obey the rules and regulations of the bylaws. And the 8th one I have is efficient. Working in a well-organized and competent way. And that takes a village. That takes a team of people. The president can be the leader, but let me tell you, it's the board that does the work. They're the ones that dig in and go after it. And when you have a board with those 8 attributes, you've got a great board. And I must say, Professional Network on Aging, they have a great board. Before I ever got there, they had great boards, didn't they, Mary Lou?
Yes.
Mary Lou has served on our board as well. In fact, we want her back sometime in the future if she can fit it in. But I'm very proud of our board, because we get a lot of work done during the year for our seniors. Okay, let's go back. Why are board members important? Okay, so those are the 8 attributes. Board members play significant roles providing guidance to nonprofits, which would be like P&A, by contributing to the organization's culture, strategic focus, effectiveness, and financial sustainability, as well as serving as ambassadors and advocates. So P&A If they're on the board, wherever they go, even with their work badge, they'll have their P&A badge on. They're proud to say, hey, I'm a board member of Professional Network on Aging. So we can advocate wherever we go, wherever we are. We can talk about Professional Network on Aging and how it's helping seniors in the Mid-South. And I want to say financial sustainability, hitting this terrible COVID crisis that we've been in for 2 years now. Our organization, I have to say hats off to our ancestors, because the ones before us had vision to save money, not to spend it all, but to save it and be sound, financially sound. So we have weathered 2 hard years of COVID, and we're still doing okay. We're trying to recoup, find ways, like our golf tournament recently helped us recoup some monies we had lost, but we are sustaining very well financially. So to say that is a lot, because I know many nonprofits that are not making it. So very, very proud and thankful for that. Board members form part of the governing body of an organization. So board members are a governing body. They are committed to the long-term interest of the organization and meet regularly to oversee and direct business operations, set policies, approve business decisions, evaluate executive performances, and fulfill fiduciary responsibilities. What should you look for in a board member? Let's talk a little bit some more. A person of influence and connections. It depends on the organization, nonprofit or for-profit. If you need a person of influence and connections, then think along those lines. What kind of connections do you need? What powers of influence would help your organization? A deep passion for our work. You've got to have a deep passion. Time and willingness. Like I said, a lot of board of directors, it's volunteer, so it's your time, that you're giving so kindly and so graciously. So if you have time and willingness. Now, deep pockets or access to deep pockets. Now, the way I see that, we all want some deep pockets in the group, right? When I look at P&A for deep pockets, I'm thankful for the sponsorships that we have, including Home Helpers and others that sponsor our entertainment or our different areas of our senior safari or our senior expo. So we do need some deep pockets in the group that will step up and be sponsors. And we've got some great ones too. We're very grateful to many of our members who are sponsors of these events. Current donor or volunteer, you want someone with a volunteer heart to be on the board, because that's what they're going to be doing. A reputation for balanced, sound, deliberate thoughts. Why did they pick me? Just kidding. Hey, did everybody think I was serious? Okay, reputation for balanced, sound, deliberate thoughts and actions. Experience on a nonprofit board. If you have experience on a nonprofit and you're wanting to get on the board of a nonprofit, that's good, but you don't have to have experience. I didn't know anything about being on a board. P&A is the first board I've ever served on. I just jumped in and learned. So you don't have to have experience, but it's good if you do. Professional experience, fundraising experience, and knowledge of community and environment. Like a knowledge of community. What does the community need? I know we have a large senior demographic in Memphis, huge. People are aging in every day, 65 and older. So P&A does serve a great need for seniors. I'm one of them. Okay.
Lisa, you didn't have to look at me when I'm 65 and older.
I look at Troy every day. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the 2 oldest people
Okay.
in the room.
Someone mentioned, what skills do you need to be a board member? You mentioned integrity, ethical, honesty, independent decision-making, and objectivity. Those are very good ones. 5 essential qualities of an effective board member. Dedicated and committed, able to lead and influence others, straightforward and impartial, knowledgeable and an insatiable learner, think out of the box, values discretion and confidentiality. Confidentiality is very important with P&A or any board. When we're in a board meeting, the door is shut, it's 22 of us. The decisions we make, what's in Vegas stays in Vegas. In other words, we keep it in that room. It should not be talked about outside of that room because we are doing governing of that organization and discussing a lot of important issues. So confidentiality is important. Okay, Mary Lou, how much have I got? Quite a bit more time because I've got a lot more to talk about.
You have 25 minutes. We started at 15:15, so you have about maybe 7.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Thank you so much because I've got more I want to talk about. Oh, goodness gracious. I didn't think I'd have enough.
Include the people on the county.
Oh, yes. And Zoom land out there. We love you too. Thank you for letting me speak with you today. I'm not used to this little camera. It's like a midget or something. I don't know. For Professional Network on Aging, just to give you an example of what each of the executive board and board members do, just going to throw some out. The president, of course, presides over the meetings, assures smooth function of P&A, serves as an ex officio of a lot of committees. I serve on a lot of the committees. I represent P&A in the community like I'm doing today. I perform all duties incident to the office of any president, any other duties needed. The vice president of programs, in the absence of the president, performs the duties of the president. So the VP of programs, if I couldn't be there, steps up to the plate. It's always good to be grooming those with you and right behind you. Plans, arranges, and introduces programs for the monthly meetings, serves on the board of directors, and performs any other duties as assigned by the president and board. Vice president of membership, very important, gaining new members, getting new people in, and keeping the ones we have, retaining. In the absence of the president and VP of programs, then this person, the VP of membership, would step up as president if needed. Keeps a record of all the members, makes recommendations on membership goals. How do we gain new members? VP of Marketing and Development, very, very key area. Any of our events like professional conference, we're having the professional conference, which is CEUs for social workers that we hold in February. We're working on that now. Marketing that is very important, branding it, marketing, getting the word out there. So any VP of marketing works closely with the special projects committee to get the word out of any of our events and activities. Secretary, you know what they do, they keep the minutes. They work with the vice president of membership to maintain current P&A brochure. They perform other duties assigned by the president. Treasurer keeps up with the monies. Woohoo! The treasurer and I are like combined at the hip. We're connected at the hip. But yes, treasury is very important, keeping your annual reports and meeting all the deadlines and guidelines of a nonprofit. And a class member, that's what I started out at. We have classes. And if you're in a class, then you come to the board meetings and you can vote, but you're not part of the executive committee, but you're part of the board. So those are class members, and they're usually 2 years each, and then they roll off after 2 years or move up. Okay, so now I would just like to say, Professional Network on Aging, when I go over the retreat with them in January as president to bring in the new board, which we're nominating our newest, November 11th, we'll announce our new board of directors. I teach them or talk to them about the characteristics of P&A board members. One is a collegiate approach, identification of our mission, knowing exactly what our mission is, being informed, a deep understanding of P&A's mission and values, time and responsibility. They are to meet, every month at the meeting. If they miss 3 times, we could, tell them sorry. Proactive outreach, commit and secure resources, strategic and analytical, and a positive attitude. So we talked to them about that. Real quickly, I would like to give you P&A's vision statement, values, and mission statement, because like any organization, they have their vision, values, and mission. And when you think about the attributes of a board member, think about them living through this. Professional Network on Aging. Our network of professionals serving the aging community will be unparalleled of our scope, effectiveness, advocacy, and passion for service to enrich quality of life in the Mid-South. And we do that. I really do feel we do that. Our values: we enhance family life and strengthen the bonds within our community by virtue of our work. Our council will passionately pursue any goal or measure that will enhance the lives of our community's older adults. We will always do what is right in serving the best interest of our aging population. And that's just 3 of about 10 that we have. And our mission statement is, and I love this, the Professional Network on Aging links individuals and professional organizations serving seniors to promote professional development and elevate the quality of life in the Mid-South. So we're there to promote professional development, the board and our members, but we're there really to elevate the quality of life for seniors. That's the bottom line. So
Can you tell a little bit about the scholarships?
yes. Oh, and another thing that we do, we offer scholarships for students at different colleges. They can apply. I think it's in the summer they can apply, but we select 2, and it's usually $4,000 each, or that's what the past year, for young people that are studying in the aging area, the area of aging
Program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's social work or
Anything
something in the
seniors, yeah.
anything that's
Physical
serving
therapy,
seniors, physical therapy.
Nursing,
Mhm.
gerontology,
Nursing.
but at a master's level, they support them. in their
And
masters.
so what we do when we have a committee that works on this, Sherry Womack, who's excellent,
Yeah.
and her group, and they select 2 of all the applications, and they come and speak to us to thank us. But it is so greatly appreciated, these young people that need the money to further. And all we ask is that they serve the senior community. Once they finish, they do something that helps senior citizens. So that's awesome. Just have to be, okay, 1 minute. Okay, let me say this. To have a good board, you got to be a positive leader. You got to be a really good positive leader. You have to be a model for them. You have to be enthusiastic. You have to be the example you want them to be. So just know, as a leader, like if you're serving on a board, you've got to have a leader that's strong. So I'm thankful and honored that I was even asked to be president, and I hope I'm doing a good job. I'm sure trying, but I do love this organization so much. It's close to my heart, and I know that we're making a difference in the community. So I thank you all today. I did want to ask one last question. Who has served on a board in Zoom land? Who served on a board? Somebody raise their hand. Well, thank you for your board volunteering on boards. That is so important. And I hope you've gotten a little bit refresher out of today.
Any
and
questions?
Thank you. Any questions, Troy?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, you said that you got a 2-year program. Where do you go from this? And then my follow-up, what type of organization from city funding do you get? Do you get any type of government? Or
We don't get any government city funding. We are a nonprofit. The way we pull our monies in is through our events. Like Senior Safari, Senior Expo will have sponsorship levels we sell, vendors, which are the booths. So we gather the money, we have our operating costs pulled out of that, and we have the net that goes into a fund of ours, our operating costs.
Yeah, we have 3 events a year typically.
Yeah, 3 large:
Yeah.
professional conference, senior expo at the Ag Center usually, and Senior Safari at the Mid. So
Now,
we added a golf tournament this year.
Okay. Once your term is over, where do you go from there? Are you back on the board again?
I'm ex officio right after I finish my presidency. I'm ex officio. I help with the nominating and all that, and then after then I'm gone. I mean, I'm there as a member, but I'm always there
Well,
to help.
congratulations, you sure got a good leader. I think
Well,
everybody would agree.
thank you so much for having me
Hold
today.
on, we've got a question. Hold on.
Thank
Hey,
you.
hold on. We've got a
Okay.
question from online. Miss Miranda
Okay.
has her hand raised.
Thank you.
Miranda, you want to ask your question?
Hey, Miranda.
Hey, Lisa. What is your recommendation for quantity of board members?
Quantity of board members, well, there are 22 total with my organization. The 22 work great for us. I mean, we have lots of opinions.
It's a job
and
description for each one.
It's a job description for each one, for class and secretary, treasurer, their duties for each person. And in the class, we're kind of grooming people. It's good to have those 3 each year in a class behind us so that we can groom them for other positions moving up. So I don't know how to answer that, but I know 22 is working well for P&A.
Good.
Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the question. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. Anything else?
Well done. I thought it was
Oh,
amazing.
that was great.
Thank you. Thank you.